Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Tuesday, the day after bank holiday in the UK. I was still working though, still doing stuff, recording videos last night. And then I've uploaded one of them. I was a bit late uploading it. My fault, I got tired last night. So I had to edit it and upload it today. But it was a question that came up on our live chat about how to have like a navigation bar that was near the bottom of your screen. And I like to think we did a pretty good job on creating that. I mean, it's over here. I can just show you here. So it's basically this. There you go. So it's where you have like the navigation bar at the bottom, and it's like a frosted glass effect. When you hover over it, you get some like border radiuses and all of that. It's not that tricky. It's just a way of doing it where some people might not know how to do it, because it's a pretty simple process, to be honest. Because normally what you do is you do fixed position, absolute position with your widgets, but here now we're using an entire section and a column, and the frosted pane is on the column, and then you got your buttons. There's 5 buttons in there, so they're your widgets. So you don't want to do the fixed position on 5 different things. You would adjust it accordingly. But this kind of worked. So I was glad to get that video out the door. And it was quite nice that someone had raised a question as well. Because if they hadn't raised a question, I wouldn't have done it that way. Hey Atif, how you doing? So yeah, new video we just released out today. Ooh, let me just mute that. Whoop. So it's just where you have frosted pane at the bottom, and when you hover over it, you have a border radius appear, but this is for the entire section. So this isn't fixed position. This is using section and a frosted pane effect on the column, but it's not fixed positioning. It's just using it with a section. Let me just adjust my panes for a moment, because it's always difficult to read the live chat when I haven't put my panes on my screen properly. There we go. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. It's always weird to say good afternoon, isn't it, when it's just gone past midday. But yeah, I'm doing okay. Late night recording videos, and I've only edited one of them so far and got out there. Yeah, go on, Atif. Yeah, what you saying then? Yeah. Yes, it's not fixed position. Well, you got to go watch the video, Atif. You got to go watch the video. It's just been released about half an hour ago. You got to go watch it. But what it is the section is sticky bottom, right? And then what you do on the section, you put some padding, bottom padding to move it up. And then you do some negative top margin. So sticky bottom, positive bottom padding, negative top margin. So it brings it up like that. Yeah. So it's just a sticky bottom, but it is not a fixed position, because you can't do fixed position on a section and column, right? You can only do it on widgets. So on the section, you make it a sticky bottom, then you use padding to take it up like that, and then a negative top margin to get rid of this little bit of excess that sits here. Otherwise, what will happen is the section will still go under. Because normally you always do it with your widgets, don't you? But now you could have an entire section with loads of stuff, and you could... So you had a message on Fiverr looking for a travel agency website. Ooh. Well, there you go, Matt. You could use that template, couldn't you? So in some ways, it worked out in your favour. But yeah, go watch the video, Atif, okay? If you want to get the step-by-step on it. Hey, Peter, how you doing? You all right? So the video released today, I was just saying earlier, before you joined on, Peter, was a question that came on our live chat. I think it was Thursday. Someone asked a question. So I've created a video especially to help them out because I thought this is actually a topic that would help other people out as well. So we've just released a video today on, it's quite a funny one, sticky frosted bottom. Someone out there's going to go, you what? A sticky frosted bottom? Why would you do a video on that? Sticky frosted bottom. It's an important subject. But I think it's a I think it's a pretty good one, yeah. Oh, have you? Oh, I haven't seen the question yet. I need to look at it. No, Danny, you're not late. I just joined about 10 minutes ago. You're not late at all. I'm going to look at your question in a minute, Peter, okay? Yeah, do you know what? When I was creating it, Atif, I was kind of like, do you know what? I quite like this. You know, as I did it, at first I thought, and then I thought, yeah, on the mobile, it's becoming one of those like quite nice things, isn't it? On the bottom, yeah. Just check the questions, Matt. Bit creepy after I've just designed one for a test. Any recommendation on a plugin to book and pay for tours? To be honest, I wouldn't use a theme for that, Matt. I would just use a booking one for that. So like Danny just says, Crocker-Block, or appointment hour booking plugin, WP booking system. You know, there's loads of free plugins you could use. Because the minute you use a theme or a template that's got it built in, it now messes up the style of what you were going to do on the website. Hey, Andrew, you okay? Let's go quickly see what Peter wrote. Don't know why I can't see that, Pete. Did you say you wrote it in the... Is it in the web Squadron mastery bit? Not sure, I can't see it. Yep, get the food out of the oven. Yeah, Atif, that's actually a very good way to do it, to be honest. So what you do is you do it in your template and then create it there, yeah. You might not have hit return, Peter. It might not have sent it. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, Atif, and that's kind of the best way to do it. I mean, I didn't do that because I was just showing here's the feature and how you do it. But that's what I would do as well. You would do it in your header template, right? And then you would have one style for desktop and a different style for the mobile. Yeah, absolutely. That's how I would do it too. I wouldn't do what I did, which is I just did it on the page, right? I wouldn't do that, no. You would do it in your template, yeah. Hey, Jared. No, I'm not a champ. I just like when I've got some stuff out the way and I'm now working on stuff where if I'm really focused on what I'm doing, I won't do a live chat. I've got to be proper focused. But if I can drop in and out, because I'm working on something at the moment as well, but I can still intermingle. It's a bit like when you're in the office, isn't it? I'll double check, Peter. No probs, Artie. I'm not sure why I can't see it, Peter. So, just to double check, Peter, did you is this in response to the video I just posted today? Is that in response to that? It is, isn't it? That's weird, Peter. Let me just shut down my Facebook and go back in again. All right. It might just be a Facebook thing, Peter. All right. Hey Tony, how are you? What's the weather like down your end? We're doing okay. We're doing okay. There is a real chill bite in the air right now in Leicestershire. There's a real chill bite. Like I went and got my hoodie about 10 minutes ago. Well, not 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. Just feeling a bit cold. Oh man, George, a WP bakery site. You need all of the concentration you can get. Really, Tony, Sonny. Can I share something with you guys? Can I just share something? Right, I just want to share something with you. Where is it? Can I just share something with you? So someone has asked me to do a review on a plugin, right? Let me show you this plugin, and I'm also going to tell you why I'm not going to review on it. Do you want to see it? So there's a new plugin that's coming out, okay? And I want to show it to you, right? And this person wants me to do a review. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to do a review on it, okay? Because this is me about my integrity. But if you disagree, please let me know. I want you to let me know, okay? So here's the plugin, okay? It's a new one that's coming out, okay? It's the convenient site service. Hey, Pickstar. It's the convenient site service for Elementor. So Pickstar, I'm going to share a plugin that someone wants me to review. And they haven't, Atif, they've not spoken about money yet, but I'm going to refuse. And let me explain, and I want you to work out why you think I'm going to refuse this, okay? So new convenient site service for Elementor. What this does is allow you to duplicate pages, favorite pages, create new pages, and edit the settings. So it sounds quite versatile. So while you're in Elementor, right, rather than you going back into WordPress, you can now you can basically like see the pages. So if you want to edit a page, you can literally jump in. You can duplicate a page, right? While you're on a page, you can mark a page as a favorite. I'm not really sure about that one. You can even change like the slug and all of that as well. There's all this stuff you can do. Okay? You can even change the page settings, right? This is stuff you can do. Okay? Now, there's a cost attached to this. It's not free. The cost is $15 per year. $15 per year is not a major cost. It's not a major cost. However, right, sorry, I just realized I'm slightly off camera. However, right, would you pay $15 a year to do this stuff? Which, if I'm honest, right, if I'm really honest, create a new page, duplicate a page, edit the settings. This is something that, this is like, what, seconds? This just takes you seconds to do, right? Okay. This is all exactly, Andrew. This is stuff that if you know where to go, you can do anyway. Or you would just, or if you had another pane open with WordPress, wouldn't you just go boom, duplicate, whatever? So I'm a bit like, why would you, I mean, seriously, you're asking people, like for 15 websites, $63. Do you get what I mean? And I just thought, I said to the guy, because he contacted me this morning, I went, where's the free version? And his reply was, here's the reply. I'm not going to show you the reply, but the reply was, there is only a paid version. Maybe we'll do a free, but there is only a paid version. And I was a bit like, seriously? Like, seriously. You want people to pay $15 a year so they can duplicate and edit the URL, like, and create a new page? Groundbreaking. No, this is not efficient. This does not add anything new to the table. No. There's no free, George. There is no free. Like, seriously? Hey, Ramsey, how are you doing? Totally wrong, isn't it? And again, I hope this shows my integrity, okay? Because they haven't said to me what if they were going to pay for us to do the video, but I'm not even going there. I'm not even going to say, yeah, whatever, let's do it. No, don't care, because this is not, it's all about integrity. Exactly, Pickstar, doesn't feel a gap, right? Exactly, Peter, it probably won't even be updated. Exactly, Tony, they can do this for free. There's no niche. But Peter, I know. Now that you said it, Peter, I have, innit? So they should pay me for that. But it's like, no, not worth it. Not worth it at all. Hey, Bomana, I did want to, I've been meaning to contact you. Like, I've seen that you've done a lot of LinkedIn posts, a lot. But what I wanted to say is I think you've got to change your style, okay? What I've noticed is that whenever you do a slide, you always have a thank you slide. Get rid of the thank you slide. Number two, whenever you keep showing a before and after, they're not real. And number three, whenever you show your after, they look very, very similar to all the other ones with the same style text, the same style button, Lottie images or a blurb. And I said, you've got to be a bit more inventive about it, okay? Otherwise, it starts to look like it just looks the same. So think differently, okay? Start having images, because you just seem to have Lottie images, which gets very just a bit boring. No way, Ramsey, really? You're thinking of going to Shopify, but you're going to restrict yourself a lot. Oh yeah, of course, George. Our plugin, right, would be like, it would be backups, in fact, we'd have a proper live chat support. So when you now chat to someone, anyone in the world who's available will actually come on camera. That's what we would do. Do you know what, Peter? I cannot work out why, but it's not showing your comment. It's just not showing it. I have no idea why not. Oh, they have to pay for the chat to start. Yeah, but George, are you now those kind of chat websites? You got to pay by the minute, George. Yeah, it's weird, Peter, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe there's a delay or something. Pickstar knows where I'm going with it. Yeah, so Bomana, lose the thank you page, right? Don't do too many Lottie images. And make it more real. Make it more real. Because otherwise it starts to feel a bit like you've just done a before and an after. Hey, Melissa. Tuesday's going okay so far. It feels weird for it to be a Tuesday as well. It feels like Monday, but it's a Tuesday. Yep, dating platform for Elementor people and stuff like that. Ah, yes, so Peter, to answer your question, So the reason I did the CSS in the button rather than as a universal styling was because what you'll notice is you got 3 buttons in the middle which are just rectangle, but either side of the button, one of them is curved here and the other one is curved this side. So by doing it independently, it meant basically what it means is you can adapt the style however you want. So it might be that you want to have, when you hover over the button, you want to have different colors appear. Let's pretend you want a rainbow. So red and orange and yellow and green and all of that, okay? So you could now adapt it to do whatever you want. So because if it was just a block, rectangle, you would just do it consistently. Because one side is curved here, another side is curved there, it was to basically do that. Let me know if you heard that, by the way, Peter. I don't even know if you're still live. I might have said it and you were not here. Let me know if you got that. So Matt, so he's got Crock-a-Block. Just a potential client wants quite a few things. He wants bookings and payments, advanced search. Ooh. In response to what Pixstars says, that's what she said. Matt Hallon. Sounds like your client's after quite a bit there, actually. So booking and payment of tours on a calendar, so you got to have a booking system. For the translation for English and Arabic, I would use this plugin. Let me just tell you the plugin I use, and this one works a treat, and it's for free. Totally for free, right? This plugin is free, and this one worked brilliant. Okay, get closer. Cheers, Peter. Cool. So let me just tell you the plugin that I used on a website. Again, it was English and Arabic, and it worked a treat. This plugin is totally free, and this one worked really well. So you could easily use that, right? So you could get whatever booking plugin you want. Now, when you say convert on user's location and translation, I personally feel like you shouldn't do that. Yeah, that's right, Matt. Yeah, that's the one I showed live. Yeah. I would personally say changing it based on where you live is a bit disrespectful. Because let's say I'm in Arabia or Dubai or wherever. Just because I'm in Dubai and it switches to Arabic, just because I'm there doesn't mean I know Arabic. So this is what you got to say to your client, okay? Let's say, right, look, let's be honest here, okay? You could be working in Arabia or Dubai, but you don't know how to read Arabic or whatever. Oh, the currency, right, okay, I've probably misread it. Yeah, I did misread it, you're right. It's currency, not the language. I'm not sure about that plugin or yeah, Peter, innit? No, but yeah, I mean, I think we've realised now he's talking about the currency. Currency to switch. To be honest, though, okay? Let me put a spin on this problem, right? Where is this company based and where are they selling from? Now, if they're selling from or they're based in, say, Dubai, I would say the currency of payment. No, Matt, you're going to have to email me the link. So info@websquadron.co.uk. That Google language translator worked really super well for what I wanted. I mean, I wouldn't say just use it, but for English and Arabic website, it worked super, super well. I'm not sure how good Forminator is changing the currency if it detects your location. I don't know how good it is at that. Yeah, Pixar, I made clear to the client, though, that when it translates, it will get grammar wrong, punctuation. I don't know Arabic, so if you want to manually go in and do it, you're going to have to manually go in and do it. So I made that really clear to them. I said, look, because you know what was funny is the client doesn't even know how to read Arabic properly. And I went, well, just go for a translate option. It's the best it can do. Okay, yeah, so Matt's going to email me 2 links. When I get that, we'll share it. We will share it. Right. You know, we're running our 5-day challenge on the 16th of May. There is someone who always joins but never actually attends. This is the 3rd time I think they're joining, but they never attend. It'd be nice if they attended. Whoa, loads of messages popping in. I'm trying to think, Peter. You know when like you haven't done many multi-currency websites, you start to lose your frame of mind, don't you, with the currency? Does it automatically switch? I can't remember. Peter, you don't need to attend. You don't need to attend the 5-day challenge because a lot of the stuff for that you get is kind of in the mastery membership anyway. So you don't need to attend. No. To be honest, though, it's more for people who are struggling with where to start with a website, or they got an idea, or they've had a website for ages, but they're struggling to get any traction on it. It might be something to do with what is your business about, you know, the layout, colors, fonts, things like that. Just thinking like, when you're creating a website from scratch, what are the things you should think about before you start building? So what are the A to Z things we do? No, definitely not, George. No. I mean, if you're already building for clients, or you know the drill to go through. You know when someone comes to you and they go, "Hey, I want a website." Do you just go and build a website, or do you ask them questions? Who's your client? Who's your business? Your fonts, your colors, your images, your layout, blah 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 blah. Competitor websites, all of that stuff. Yeah. So when you know that, there you go, Peter. There you go, Peter's got it. Price based on country. And is that a free plugin, Peter? Yeah, to be honest, Atif, there's multiple. There's well, I don't want to say unlimited, but it's open to lots. But to be honest, Atif, I do think that what we talk about in that and the workbooks and the stuff we share, you'll know this, you'll know it, and you'll look at it and go, "Oh, this isn't really for you." You'll know this stuff at the back of your hand. So what theme are you using, Bomana? What theme are you using? There you go then. So Peter, if you're watching, Matt, I hope you're still there, Matt. Matt, are you there? So price based on country for WooCommerce. There we go. Yeah, that's fine, Matt. But yeah, don't forget, Matt, Peter's just said price based on country for WooCommerce. There's your plugin. That's the one you want to use now, okay? The 5-day challenge, it's we do it every 2 to 3 months. It's a 5-day challenge. It's 5 days. It takes up about an hour of your time a day. That includes the challenge and joining a live chat, because we do a live chat in the evenings, or the evenings for me every day for 5 days. So if you're struggling to design a website or start off a website or something like that, then you can jump in. But I'm not going to lie to you, it won't be for everyone, but it could help you if you're struggling with your website, or you're struggling to understand what a client website should be like. How you doing, Stacey? My son's video has already had 214 views, which is actually quite good. The fact it was only released a day ago. I think that's quite good. No, it wasn't released a day ago. It was released on Sunday, so it will be 2 days today. Ah, nice. Yes, you did, Danny. Yes, I saw your name. Sorry, I just remembered. I saw your name. Yeah. The thing about my son, yeah, is that he's like, why have I not got 1 million views? Why have I not got 1 million subscribers? And I'm like, mate, I am nowhere near 1 million. Where are you gonna get 1 million from? But it's funny how, like, he goes, I want to get 1 million views and 1 million subscribers, and I'm like, yeah, don't we all, dude? Just got to reply to some messages that have come through. When you're active on social media, okay, you've got to like go through the drill, right? You know, you just got to go through the drill. No, Mark, don't worry. Mark, honestly, you don't even have to apologize or even say it's not for you. It'll be for like it's going to be for people that are kind of, you know, when they take on a new job, and the client says, I want a website, and the expectation falls on the designer. This is going to help them to think differently about what are the questions they ask. Or if they're working on their own website, what do they need to ask themselves? Well, you see, Atif, where we go massive step further is the Mastery membership. You see, that's like the pro version of it. Yeah, sure, Jimmy. Yeah, email the link over. Let's have a look. Hey, Carapos, how are you? Notifications. I'm going to try. I don't think I can. I think Pixar is saying, what is the weather like in Stuttgart? Right? Stuttgart? What is the weather like? I think that's what you're saying. Cheers, Jimmy. Just going to open it up. Ah, Jimmy. Jimmy, that is nice. Can I show you? Jimmy, do you want me to share it? The navigation bar. I like what Jimmy's done here. I really like what he's done here. Wonderbar. Do you want me to share it, Jimmy? Was it just for me or was it to share? Okay, I'm going to share it. I really oh man, what have I done to the... You know when you move your windows over and then you put the wrong size on? Right, let me just share. Let me share this, okay. Boop. Right, let me just make the... Right, so just sharing this website, okay. And I really like... now you're going to look at it and you're going to say, well, it's just a standard website. You got a slideshow, you got some motion animation, you got images, you got shape dividers, you know, background buttons, things coming in. What is there? You know, it's looking pretty standard, right? Okay. But here's what I like. Here's what I like, and this is what I call creativity. There is just one thing I noticed, Jimmy, and I don't know if it's just me, but I'll show you in a moment. Okay. So look, you see the navigation here. I like that. I like that. And obviously when you click or pick or when you click off it or whatever, it slides away. I like that. It's just different, right? It's just different. The only thing I'm noticing, and I don't know if it's just because of me, I'm just going to extend my screen. I don't know if it's just me. But you know how, oops, gone. Do you know how here it's not dead center, Jimmy? You should be able to see the navigation. Oh, yeah, sorry, Peter, yeah. I don't know if it's just me, Jimmy, but you know here it's not dead center underneath. It's lopsided. It's going towards the left. I would just like, if you can, just make that more centered. Yep, cool. Ah, cool. All right, yeah. I'm just going to check it on a bigger screen, though. Do I still get that problem? Yeah, so here's my tip, Jimmy. Here's my tip, okay? Can you make, you know your navigation menu, can you make it custom? So make it a custom width. And do the same for those as well. And then when you, align it, it should be okay. Because at the moment, when you go to a, let me just show you. Right, let me show you. Let me just show you here. When you extend the screen, look at the size of that, right? Can you see it starts to extend? It's going like that. It's extending. Yeah. So, because I'm just extending it out, you see. So, make it a custom width and see if that should hopefully do it. But I like that. I love stuff like that, you know, where you click it and then come out like that. Yeah, cool, got it. Yeah, I think that's what it might be. I think it's the custom width bit. Actually, a very good point by Atif there. So what Atif is saying that because your navigation menus coming through are circular, I would make that circular as well. Very good point, Atif, actually. I overlooked that. So rather than having like a block or a rectangle, go for a circular there as well. Yeah, brilliant point there about that. Nice one. Right, I'm just going to look at Matt's question. Because Matt's... back. So Matt, Peter further up mentioned a price. It's a free plugin. There is a pro version, but there's a free plugin for the price converter. Let me just find Peter's message. Where did he say it? Peter said it. Where did he say it? Ah, just click my jaw. Yeah, price based on country for WooCommerce. So, Matt, you might want to consider this plugin, right? Okay, so there's that. And I mean, I would say be careful of picking any themes or templates where, it restricts you, because they will restrict you as to what you can and can't do. And then you spend more time messing around with styling and stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, just watch out. I mean, there may be a theme or a template which is very versatile as long as it's been built with Elementor. So you have a lot of flexibility into how it looks. Let me give you an example. The My Listing directory theme that I use a lot is built with Elementor. However, there is one major restriction with how you add in a secondary header for the listing page. Everyone hates what it does because you can't fully customize it, and it's a real failure of why they don't do that. Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? You see it, you go, oh, wow. And remember, when you see a theme or a template on Theme Forest or Invanto or Code Canyon, wherever, you are probably going to be more drawn to it because of the images and the wording. Remember, when you get it, there's probably going to be no images or wording. And when you see it for what it is, you're going to go, actually, this isn't that good. So don't get sucked in by how lovely, stylish the images and the wording are. Always look at what is the feature it's giving. And is it easy to A, work with, navigate, work on? Try and get hold of documentation. That's a big point. When you have a theme or a template and there's no documentation visible, I get a little bit like, right, it's almost like you don't want to just tell us what your settings are. I can understand why a company wouldn't want to do that, but at the same time, if I'm trying to assure someone that this is easy to use, I would share the documentation. It's why a lot of plugins and people out there do videos, right? They go, hey, look, this is how you use it. So they're giving away all the secrets and hints and tricks, but they're confident in what they've got built, the UIE, the USP, all of that. They share it, so always look out for that. Like the My Listing theme, I was able to get hold of the documentation for it before, and I was like, actually, yeah, this isn't too bad. Whereas some plugins, they looked amazing, but no documentation. You couldn't even see what half the support questions were, and I was like, it feels like you're hiding. You're showing off how good it is, but you're not telling me how good it really is. So, Matt, you've written another reply to yesterday's comments. Oh, is this on the YouTube channel? Is this on the YouTube channel? Let me just double check. I can access it, you see. Oh, yeah, you did 38 minutes ago. Let me just double check. Oh, Matt, if you're still there, WordPress is already installed. WordPress is already installed. Not only is WordPress already installed, Elementor and Elementor Pro are already installed, and you will have an Elementor Pro header and footer already activated as well. So I'll answer your question. the cloud will give you a lot of stuff already pre-installed, okay? Did I say Matt? Sorry, I meant Mark. Sorry, Mark. Yeah, so you'll have the WordPress already there, Elementor Pro installed and activated, a header and footer already activated and set up for you, so you're good to get going. So rather than like other WordPress where it might give you like a 2022 or whatever, or an Astra header footer, whatever, all of that, you don't need to worry. It will have WordPress, hello, your header and footer. You still got to go through some of your settings, but some of them will be set. So you're good to just hit the ground running. Just go boom. Yeah, so Atif, my energy prices, because I'm with British Gas and I was on a fixed plan. The fixed plan was £130 a month. Okay, that was a fixed plan. Now, my fixed plan has ended. I'm not going on to another fixed plan because they're too pricey. But my costs are now going to go up to £235 a month. That's a big increase, right? So I'm being very conscious and careful over energy usage. Even though I got these lights on and stuff, right? This actually adds next to nothing to the bill because I've monitored it. If I turn them off or turn them on, it's a difference of a penny an hour. It's next to nothing. But my energy bills are going to go from 135 roughly to about 235 roughly. Hey, Catherine. See, I wish I'd done that last year now, or not last year, 4 or 5 years ago, but didn't. And probably regret it. I'll probably come to regret it later on. Yeah, I mean, it is a big hike. However, I need to double check now that you guys have mentioned it again. I need to just double check, but I think my usage compared to last year has actually gone down. I'm now using less than I was last year. Big reason why I'm using less is my recording studio used to be in the garden office. So in the garden office, I always had like a heater on that you plug in. That heater alone was using up like 60p an hour. That was really eating up energy an hour. And when you're in there for like 7 or 8 hours, you're easily hitting 4 to 5 quid a day just on the heater. Wow, Catherine, $13. I think the trouble is, Atif, is that like what puts me off doing solar now is the cost to get it installed and set up. Then there's the maintenance cost after that. And I'm a bit like, it'll take a long time before I break even with the money I invested into it. Yep, that's why I got this on. So, no heating on today. No heating on. Just put on an extra layer. And of course socks. Thermal socks. Thermal socks are good. Yep, I remember that. I actually remember that episode. He had all the layers on. It all depends on if If you've got the spare capital to do it, go for it. He who shall not be named. Very good point, Melissa, actually, that is. My account. Can I log into my account? Why not? Forgot my password. Dope. Huh? What? What? You know, when someone says, right, they got Elementor Pro, but they're still using the Elementor header footer builder, you kind of go, why? Why are you using the header footer builder if you got Elementor Pro? Check display conditions for. What? Why would they do that? Are you kidding me? I can't log into my account. Minus 35. I'd die. I would die if it was that cold. What is my password? I'm not asking you guys what my password is because you won't know. It should be. It should be this. Ah, it is. I was right. No, Pickstar. That was not what my password was. Yeah, George would know. It's alright. I got in. I'm in. I am now in. Okay, I think the more time that goes, the more like twitchy I get about Flexbox containers, about when are they going to be finally here, you know, when are they going to be here? Oh, wow, Danny. Wait till she hits the cold there. Let me in. Yeah. I do not want to spam Elementor Carapace. If they suspend me, I don't want that. Yep, see you later, Peter. Oh, that's dodgy. I can't compare it to last year. Before you could compare it to last year, but now I can't do that. I don't like that. I don't like that I can't do a comparison. No props, Mark. Yeah, take care, Tony. Yep, CSS grid. Hi, Mark. Just double checking something, which is a bit weird. Yeah, take care, Catherine. What? Twins. Brother and sister, yeah. That'd be about right. They sound quite inbred to me, Pickstar and Melissa. Just checking, responding to some emails. That's right, just someone's asked a question. I'm not sure why they didn't just Google it. Why didn't they just Google it? Oh, I'm not going to answer to that question. Sometimes when you reply to some questions on the Elementor Facebook group, sometimes some people get a bit arsy with your answer and you kind of go, well, now you've told me something else that affects my answer, but you didn't tell us that before. You know, it's a bit like, you know, you didn't, if you don't tell us the details about what you were trying to do, and all you've done is said, well, this ain't working, or this is not right. Well, yeah, that's all you've said, but what more? Could have done with a bit more, maybe. Yeah, Matt, what's the best, most complex or best website you've built? Ooh, I would say it was directory themes, because WooCommerce aren't that difficult. They're just convoluted, right? But it was a directory theme. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. I bought this strap, right? This strap was meant to be red. It's meant to be red. It's more like a salmon red, right? Look at it. That's more of a salmon red. Right, it's not like a proper red, is it? When I got it, I was like, huh? It's a bit of a salmon red colour. But I prefer like the sports straps where it's like a Velcro. Because with the Velcro, you see, it's much easier to adjust to your size or push up your arm or whatever. You know, and it's less, I don't know, less hard on the skin as well. But directory theme websites with the My Listing, they always... I've worked on 5 directory websites now. All of them are different. It's not like the one size fits all. You always got to think a little bit differently, and they're always a bit taxing on the mind. I want this, I want that, I want that. Hey, Mohammed, you know, how are you? Where are you from and what are you working on, Mohammed? So it's like, you know, so yeah, it's always a bit of thinking required. I used to have a Fitbit. And I'll tell you why. I've gone for the watch, mainly because if I get a message, like a text message or a WhatsApp message or an email message, I can see it on my phone. So when I used to be in meetings, you know, and sometimes, right, you know, you're paying attention in a meeting and a message would come up, I would just look down and I could like quickly respond or whatever without picking up the phone. So it's quite good for that. And are you an agency, Mohammed, or freelancer? I mean, I tell you what, it really, really is great when you're, you know, when you're looking at your stats for like how many calories you've burned or steps and things like that. I cannot knock it. You know, how much exercise have you done? I like to make sure I get an hour a day. I got to hit 60 minutes worth a day. Or, I mean, one of the other things I really love about this is sometimes when I feel a bit funny or I don't feel good, I can quickly check my heart rate. You know, you sit there checking your heart and your pulse and all of that. I think it's quite good for that. But it does motivate you. You know, when you get to like the evening time and you look at it and you go, what? I've only done 10 minutes of activity all day. It makes you want to get up and do something. Right, so boostage. Here's my tip, okay? Not everyone will agree with this, but here's my tip. Once you've converted it into WebP, right, I leave the image as 1920 by 1080 if it's going to be a banner image or a big image. If it's a product image, 500 by 500, whatever, okay? Convert to WebP and stick into media library, right? When it's in the media library and now you're building on your web page, now you'll know if the image is that big, that big, that big, that big, whatever. Does it need cropping? Does it need this adding? Whatever, right? In media library is where I do the scaling and the cropping, not before. Because if you do it before, the image you add has already had bits cut off or scaled. Okay? And then you might regret it. You go, oh, I wish I didn't cut that off. And you haven't got the original image. In media library, you can scale it, crop it, do what you want, and rotate it, whatever. But if you need to get the original, you hit restore image. The setting is there in media library. Restore image. Right? So you crop and scale in there. Banner images, I go for 1920 by 1080. You can go bigger. WooCommerce, I go for 500 by 500. Other images depend on where they sit on the page. You know, half page, full page, little, big, small, whatever. Once you know what you're doing with that image, then I go into media library and I go, right, I know that image is 300 pixels wide. So I scale it to be 300 pixels wide, or I crop a bit off or whatever. Yep. Does that make sense, boostage? Boostage. Fitbit, I used to find with the Fitbit is sometimes it didn't always pick up mine either, which was a pain. And the other thing about the Fitbit is, you know, if you've got an indoor bike and you're riding on your bike, the Fitbit does bugger all in detecting properly. Whereas with this, I can select the indoor cycle option, and then based on my heart rate, it can detect if I'm pushing myself or whatever. Much more accurate than the Fitbit. Sometimes with the Fitbit, right, and you're going to laugh at this, I used to have to take it off and strap it around my ankle while cycling, because I'd be on it for half an hour and it'd be like, you've hardly moved, and I'd be like, yeah, but it should detect my heart rate. It was always a pain. And when you're cycling with a Fitbit around the ankle, it feels unnatural. It doesn't, you know it's there. It doesn't feel natural. Exactly, Matt. It's not. I found the Fitbit was not that accurate. I had a Fitbit for about 3 years, and it was always let me down. The Apple Watch is much more better at detecting heart rate and all that. Right, I'll be back in 3 minutes, okay? Yeah, exactly, yeah. On the Apple Watch, it's really good. The Fitbit, not great. Apple Watch, when I'm cycling, when I'm walking, even when I'm walking, it is really good at detecting. To be honest, Matt, yeah, right. This, okay, is the Apple Watch 4, right? I think we're now on Apple Watch 8. Are we on 8? The differences from the 4 to the 8, other than a bigger screen that you can now get, I don't think are that major. When I've looked into it, I'm not that overly convinced the 8 is that major. So I would say the Apple Watch 4 compared to the 3 was a bit of a leap in features, but you could get a 4. I think you could get a 4. Yeah, sorry, Atif. Go and work on that spec. Go get some work done. Go for it. Right, I'll be back in about 3 minutes, okay? Hey. Yeah, you can, Matt. You can get them off eBay. You can get a plastic like thing, like and it wraps around to cover the It won't cover the screen, but it adds a layer on, so like it's protective in a way. Yeah, see what Mark is saying. So I know someone. They were like, "Oh yeah, I've got the 8," and I was like, they were saying to me, "Yeah, oh what version you got?" And I said, "I've got the 4," because I got this I got this on the day Avengers Endgame came out, so it would have been, was that 2019? Avengers Endgame came out. I think it was 2019 actually. So when I got this, and like someone I know has got the Apple Watch 8, and they were like, "Oh, you got the 4, I've got the 8," and I was like, "It's not that different. It's not that different at all." So I would say if you can get a 4 for a much lower price, go for it. Yeah, it's kind of like some. These are very carb heavy, by the way. Why are you guys not hitting the like button? Huh? Why are you not hitting the like? You gotta hit the like.
What if you could create the tools you need for work?
Hold on, I've got to block George. He's about to talk about Visual Composer. How do I kick him out? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, I think it's got 8. Yeah, Matt, it's like a bevel, but it's raised by about that much. So if your phone did drop, the only way it's gonna like break, if there was a nail, but if it was to drop, the bevel would protect it. But yeah, I would definitely say to you right now, right, if you were gonna get an Apple Watch, get an Apple Watch 4. Save yourself the extra cost of a 5, 6, 7, 8. It's not that different. It's a bit like iPhones these days. So I still have an iPhone XR. Why have I still got an iPhone XR? I used to always update nearly every year until I got to the iPhone 6 Plus. Then I updated to the iPhone 8 Plus, and then I got the iPhone XR, and I haven't updated since. Do you know why? The features on the 11, 12, 13, and I bet the 14, no, maybe not the 14, but the 11, 12, and 13, they're not that major. And so many people go on about the iPhone Pro Max, you know. But unless you are taking hardcore, high-def quality footage, right? People like me, I don't need the Pro Max. It's not even because even the video camera quality is not that different at all. When you look at the spec, it's not that different. In fact, I don't think it's different at all. Now the iPhone 14 might do something different with the quality. That will be interesting. But right now, no. The iPhone 14, the front camera might be the same quality as what I get for the back now. Now that I might be interested in, because I'm talking to the back of my phone to get the best quality camera. If the front is better, that changes things, that does, because now I can see myself on screen. Ah, yes, Matt. Yeah, the Nokia 30. I think I had the 3310. My first phone, I think, was the 33. No. My first phone was the 3210. And I got my very first phone. I'll tell you when I got it. I think it was it was November 1999 when I got my first phone. So I had the first iPhone. Then I had the iPhone 3G. No, I had the iPhone. Yeah, the iPhone 3G. Then I think it was the 3GS. Then the iPhone 4. Then the iPhone 5. Then the iPhone 6. 6 Plus. Then iPhone 8 Plus. And then I've just stuck at the iPhone XR for the last, I don't know, 4 years. 4 years. Yeah, I used to have the Motorola. Was it the Shell? Was it called the Shell? I think it was called the Shell. I even had the Nokia one where it was like the 3210, but you could flip it and it had a full-on keyboard. Do you remember that one? So it looked like a 3210, but when you flipped it over, you opened a case and flipped it, it then became like a full QWERTY keyboard. I mean, for me, the iPhone, when it first came out, the very first one, it was a massive game changer, wasn't it? BlackBerry. Loads of people went BlackBerry, didn't they? And then they were like, oh God, this ain't all that, actually. I remember when I had the iPhone, right? The first one. I remember quite a few people at work going, oh, it's just a fad. Oh, it's rubbish. It's blah, 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 blah. They were slating it left, right, and centre. And I was like, I don't get why everyone is slating this. I have a screen with apps and stuff and all this extra stuff that, you know. So, Melissa, when you say you're a Samsung girl through and through, is that because of the shape of the phone? That is true, though, Matt. The apps were very basic, but I tell you what, it was literally like having a computer in your hand, right? Well, Pixar. Why does that not surprise me? I mean, the iPhone was the first Apple product I'd ever owned. And then I moved on to an iMac in 2000. In fact, I moved it onto the iMac in 2000 and I think it was 2009. I mean, obviously the iPad. I mean, the iPads are big, but now, you know, now the iPad. I don't. You know, it's not as. I gotta say though, Matt. I gotta say though, right? The MacBook Air is brilliant. Love it. I don't remember the bubble wrap one. I think the great thing about, to be honest, one of the great things about all smartphones is being able to play a game when you're like, so when when I went to Borneo in 2007. No, it wasn't 2007 because it wasn't that good then. It was in 2010 when I went to Hong Kong. Being able to, like, when you're in your hotel room or when you were, you know, in a 2-hour coach going from Leicester to London and all of that to get to the airport, to be able to just sit there on your phone and play games. Bloody good, right? Like super, super good. You know, like when you're stuck somewhere and you get to play on your phone. Do you know what, Matt? You do get used to it. The first time I used an iMac, I was like, oh my God, I've made a mistake here. Because you're so ingrained into Windows. But once you get used to it, you get used to it. Yep, Melissa. You said it. Stimulation. Got a meeting with my son's wife, my son's teacher, later today. They're on a private call. I said it's nothing to worry about and he's all okay, but you kind of go, great, where are we going with this? Hey Dave, how you been? In fact, where have you been? By the way, you don't have to answer that, okay? You'd like to do. I know, but it's like, I think one thing that it doesn't let him down, but he gets a little bit overexcited at school sometimes. He's also very he's very sensitive. You know, if someone says something to him he doesn't like, he's very sensitive in that he kind of, you know, he's very emotional. But he's also very excitable. Academically, he's really, really good on his maths. And he knows his punctuation and he's good at reading, really good at reading. However, his handwriting lets him down. And sometimes, even though I said he's really good, he rushes the question and he reads it. He might read it wrong and then give a wrong answer. Now, when you get him to read the question again, he'll be like, oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, boom, boom, and he knows it. So he sometimes rushes. And his trouble is he rushes because he wants to, because he knows that at the end of the test it's playtime or it's time to do this or time to do that. And he's rushing because he wants to get on to the next thing. And it's always trying to rein him in a bit and go, no, just do it properly. I mean, I think nearly every day I get told, oh, he's cried at school again. And I find out it's because someone said something. And I keep reminding him, if someone says something to you that you don't like, just kind of shrug it off and go, who cares? I don't care. Move on. Walk by. Don't show them the emotion because then they will like that. Don't do that. You know, don't get worked up about it. You know. God knows what he'll be, Matt. But he does sometimes come in and watch me when I'm working on a website. We're doing live chats and stuff. He sometimes sits there and watches and observes. Like, he knows how to use Canva. He knows how to use Canva because he's watching me and I've helped him as well. He knows how to use Canva. He'll go in and he'll get a moon, he'll get a mountain, he'll get some sky, he'll get a dragon, he'll get something else, and he starts to rearrange them on the page. Well, I'm going to be interested to hear what they say, but I am also going to challenge them on a few things because there are some problem kids at his school. There are some problem kids, and what they sometimes say to Raheem is they say, right, in the mornings you need to play with those problem kids, and I get a bit like, I don't like that. They're problem kids. He shouldn't have to play with them. I don't like that philosophy, right? Because he shouldn't be told he has to play with them, right, if he doesn't want to. I find that just a bit too politically correct. Hey, Batags. How you doing? Just got to check the comments on these Facebook. Some stuff has come through. Sent some messages, double check what they're saying. Because basically what they're saying is, right, you know, some of these kids are so problematic, they don't even get taught in the class anymore. They're put into a a separate classroom where there's only like 2 or 3 kids there, and they have a dedicated teacher because their behaviour, you know, they've attacked teachers maybe, or they've thrown chairs around, and they're only 6 years old, don't forget. And sometimes what they say to Raheem is, right, you have to play with them. And it's like, why? Why does he have to play with them? You know, and then sometimes I've noticed, like when we're walking home or whatever, the kids might run up to him and they're kind of almost screaming in his ear. And he's a bit like, oh, no, get away from me. And I feel like, I don't like that they're feeling that they can probably do that because they can get away with it. So there's some things I need to clarify, like, why does he have to do that? Exactly, it's recess time, you know. Hey, Eric. So, Andrew, downloadable brochure. A downloadable brochure, what, like a PDF? It'd just be a PDF, wouldn't it? You can add a link, and then when you add the PDF link, you click the cogs, and it says open in new window, and then the user can download it or view it on screen. Yeah, go on, Batags. Ask your question. No, Pixar, here's the thing. He's told he has to play with them. And I'm a bit like, I don't like that. Because I feel like they pull him down. So, like, earlier this year, he got told he had to play with a boy who was actually quite aggressive. And now he's been told not to play with him. And I feel like, but they never should have put him in that situation in the first place. Oh yeah, Eric, if that's the best solution, then go with it. No, to be honest, Andrew, this is where you can be a little bit crafty and you have to lead the client. What is the simplest and easiest solution to apply that's not going to cost them anything and not stress you out? So you say to them, look, you have a link. When you click the link, it will either open instantly or it could open a pop-up and the pop-up contains the PDF. Or you click a link and then it opens in a new tab, new window, right? He does, yeah, George. Yeah, he does. Has his own group of friends. I just don't like how he has to sometimes go and play with the problem kids. I just don't see why. I think it's to do with the fact that he is so playful that they feel like, oh, he'll help to stimulate them. But I don't like the way that by him stimulating them, he then almost has to behave a different way to play with them, if that makes sense. I'm glad that Matt and Andrew got that logo sorted, and I'm glad it worked well. So Batags, you in? Right, so I would not have enabled all the settings, number 1. So if you want to know what settings to go for, okay, let me share this video with you, right? Let me share this video. And it's time-stamped, by the way, the video, right? So near the beginning, there is a bit about the elemental settings. You shouldn't be activating all of them anyway, right? You shouldn't be doing them anyway. Secondly, it will depend on your theme. So what theme are you using? Hello? Are you using Hello? And also, some of it could also depend on, what about the Elementor Pro? So what Pro version, an Elemental version? Make sure it's not beta, the beta or the dev version. Also, make sure you haven't got Elemental add-ons, loads of add-ons. That could also break stuff as well. What made us start a YouTube channel? Mainly because I Right, number one, there's loads of other people doing it, but I felt they weren't honest. They were jumping from product to product to product. They were only telling you what they made a commission out of. So it was a little bit false. There was an incentive for them, which I felt I didn't like. Secondly, they might not have been focusing on just Elementor. Thirdly, I felt like some of them don't fully explain stuff. So they kind of go, here you go, we're going to build a website. We're going to use OceanWP, and then we do this, then we do this, then we do this. And I'm like, they're not properly explaining some of the settings or even giving you an option or an opinion over how or why you'd use it. Or they're not doing anything different. How many of them just do a review of a plugin? Or even Ferdy, right? About 2 weeks ago, he did a tutorial on building an Elementor website. It was a 3-hour video. The bulk of the video was him just using the Elementor templates. Just the Elementor templates. So I'm like, you're not even building from scratch. You're not talking about the section or the columns. It was a Flexbox container, by the way. You're not even going through the Flexbox containers. You're not even explaining all the features. So it's about us getting across a more honest way of doing it, but also more realistic as to what would you need to properly understand how to build a website. Yeah, and what Mark said. And also to kind of build trust up as well. Like, why do you all still keep coming back to the live chat? Don't tell me you come just because it's there and you feel like you got to. We can talk about subject matter, we can experiment, we can advise, we can also... It's almost like a shared learning experience, right? I'm not the teacher. You're all teachers, you're all experts, we're all students. So we get to learn and do things and all of that. But also it was to let people have that assurance that if they joined our 5-day challenge, they know what they're getting. If they join our mastery membership, they know what they're getting. Rather than, how many times have you seen like someone advertising a course or something, and other than a 1 or 2 minute snippet of a video, which is sometimes talking more about what they're earning sometimes, how much do you really get to know what are they like and what am I getting out of it? I mean, I'm just reading the comments. Thanks everyone for what you're saying as well. And George, your bit about the naughty friend, you're very true. But I get really, I'm telling you now, I get really, really annoyed when I see some of these influencers doing a tutorial and they're either using an Elementor template. So they just go, oh yeah, we'll add in a header block. Oh, we'll add in a hero block. Or when they do one from scratch, it's just like header, subheader, button. They don't even go into talk to you more about images and WebP. They don't go into talking to you about when you go to the mobile view, you can put in a different image. They don't go into talking to you about just stuff that is real. It feels too textbooky. You know when you have a developer and all they've done is read textbooks and gone to a course, university, textbooks. That ain't real life. That is for a perfect database or a perfect website or a perfect system. In the real world, nothing is perfect. The database won't be perfect. It'll be duplicated. There'll be issues. The hosting, problems like that. So trying to overcome problems. I mean, that's the reason why I keep coming back as well. It's going to sound strange. I'm saying to you, why do you keep coming back? It's kind of, why do I keep doing it? Because you feel the community spirit. You feel this like shared learning. You feel this like the fact that a lot of us probably right now, you're probably working on your own in a room, or the only people you hear and speak to are the people you hear and speak to all the time that might not get you or what you're working on, right? I mean, come on. If you went and said to someone, oh man, I just had to convert 100 web Ps, they'd be like, what? Spiders? You know? Or if you said to someone like, oh, I've got to sort out the hosting, they'd be like, what? Like an alien egg? Is it inside you? Are you the host? So, well, if you say WordPress, people go, oh my God, that's so old, WordPress. Oh, blah. They just don't, I mean, what gets me right is if I ever say to anyone, yeah, web design agency, they go, oh, do you use Wix? You go, yeah, if that's about as much as your knowledge goes when it comes to websites, we ain't talking. We ain't talking. They go, oh, do you use Wix? We're like, yeah, all right. I kind of do this. Slide out of shot. It's not easy when you're wearing trainers and you're trying to slide out the shot. Haha, I love that, Andrew. Wix for candles. Well, Wix is like building trade as well, isn't it? The Wix, the B&Q, the DIY. Your husband, poor guy, he has to listen to all of this. Yeah, I know how to run a well, it's so we had a client and I was talking to them about WordPress, Elementor, blah 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 blah. And they're like, yeah, I know how to build a website. I built a website. It's wicked. And I was like, oh, share a URL. It was like, yeah, here it is. Shared it. It was built with the one-and-one page builder. So one-on-one have their own little rubbish page builder, right? It was appalling. It looked like a website built in 1999. He built it 2 years ago. It was appalling. The image quality, the colors, he had about 20 different fonts on the page. It was like, what is this? It's like, oh, I'll use this. Oh, I'll use this. Oh, I'll use this. He had about 10 buttons. Every button had a different font as well. I was going, what is this? And the whole web page was this, what color is it? It was a green color, but it was like a it wasn't even swampy green. It was like a mossy green color, right? That's the best I can describe it with. And he was like, oh, what do you think? And because I was on a video call, I was like this. I said, yeah, but things are different now, in the way you style. And he got really offended. What do you mean? What do you mean? This is amazing. Everyone loves it. Everyone loves it. And I had to say to him, when you say everyone, he goes, yeah, my friends and family. And when people say that, my friends and family, you just want to grab your fist and go, pow, right? One-on-one page builder. Oh, yeah, it's amazing. I'll tell you what's amazing. Flushing the toilet. That's amazing, all right? It's more amazing than your website, dude. I mean, Melissa, I used Wix in 2011 and I used it for about 2 months. And at first I was like, ooh, think of WordPress back in 2011, right? Wix was like, oh, wow, this is brilliant. Drag and drop, blah, 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 blah. After 2 months, I really fell out of love with it. Really, it was like, oh, this is depressing. It just wasn't. It did good stuff, and at the same time, it didn't do enough. So I used to do a lot of writing, creative writing, books, go to publishing events, literary agents. And the amount of people that would be there like this. I've written this book. This book is amazing. My wife told me this is the best book she's ever read. And the funniest ones, right? The funniest ones were, right? You're at an event and an old lady comes up. And I'm going to say old lady because they were old ladies, all right? And I'm not being sexist here or generalistic, but they usually were in their 70s or 80s, right? They trundle along, right? In their tweed jacket and their Miss Marple cap. They trundle along, right? You can tell they probably just ironed that cat for the event. Jane Wood. She just recently won an award, by the way, Mark. So, she was like that, by the way. I need to be careful what I say, because she's a good person. But they come along, right? You know, they're like this. You know. Right? And they got their book, right? And then their husband follows up. And the husband's, you know, he's quite bold now. He's got a bit of hair. He's got a checked shirt on. He's carrying bags. And he's like this. You know, and she's like, look at my book. My husband loves it. He loves it. And the husband's like this, oh yeah, oh yeah, ooh, you know, and then she like gets out a bag, you know, while you're talking, she gets out a bag. You know the Fox Mints? The little Fox Mint. She gets one, she opens it and she goes, ooh. And then she hands the bag to her husband. She goes, do you want one? And he's like, it's almost like for a split second, he wants to say no. And he's like, oh yes, why not? And he takes one and it's almost like he imitates her reaction. So she's like, ooh. And he's like, ooh. And you sit there thinking, what a sad, sad couple. This guy, when he gets home, she probably bends him over, right, and beats him to an inch of his life with that book. You will read this. You will write this. Then she bends him over, twists the book and goes, you will consume this. And it's not going through the mouth. This poor guy. My husband loves this book. The Harrogate Book Fair in July. Nice one day. I should create a TV show, shouldn't I? The truth about book writing. Mark, the amount of people, it was what I always found really amusing was, right, they always brought their husband. Always. It was almost like he's the backup. You know, so if anyone dared to say, oh, I'm not sure I like this, she'd look at the husband and he'd be like, oh no. This book is as good as Warhorse. And I'm going, huh? Warhorse? Great book, great movie, great stage show. And they're comparing this bit of tripe about a girl in a stable that loves her horse to a Warhorse. How did you get that? How did you go from loving a horse in a stable to Warhorse? But that was the line that always used to, whenever someone says to me, for anything, yeah, my husband loves it, my friends and family love it, I sort of go, is that as far as you've gone? I used to be very brutally honest. Okay? They are, aren't they, George? The women. Right? So, I am one of those people that I don't say what you want to hear. And I'm going to be careful not to offend anyone. But if you come into the office and you're like, and you got a new jacket on or a new hairstyle or you're wearing something, you're like, what do you think? If I think it looks great, I'll be like, hey, yeah, that looks really good. If I don't, I'll be like, no, it's a bit shit. Or someone would come in and go, do I look fat in this? I'll be like, yeah. I'll be like, yeah, you do. What did you want me to say? Because what they're expecting is to go around to 20 people in the office and they want to hear 20 people go, yeah, you look amazing. And I'm like, no, I just tell the truth. If it's good and it works for you and whatever, I'll say it. And if not, I'll tell you the truth. And then what usually happened was the person would say, I wouldn't have said that to you. How would you liked it if you asked me? And I would turn around and say, yeah, but I wouldn't have asked. I wouldn't have asked. I'm not going to walk into an office and say, do you like my shoes? Because probability, the law of probability means there's bound to be some that like it and there's bound to be some that don't. And there is no law of probability that says 100% like it. And if you don't get that, you need to get a bit of Pythagoras theorem into you. Because you know what? I always feel like... So there was someone, they were wearing something and it didn't flatter them. And I could tell that people are, oh no, what's she wearing? And when she asked everyone, they were all, oh yeah, you look great, you look great, you look great. And I felt this is not fair. This is not fair. Behind their back, you're not liking it, but you're telling them you do. So they're going to go out and about wearing what they're wearing, and it did not flatter them. And I just said to them, hey, well, when they got to me, and I was like, no, it doesn't really work. And they were a bit like, oh, but I thought, and I said, I know, but, you know, do something different. I don't have any opinion on clothing. I'm just telling you, it didn't flatter them at all. And what it probably does is stops them making a fool of themselves. Oh, Melissa, believe me, they used to do it a lot. They used to do it a lot. Once someone came in with this, like, so you know the Beyonce beehive hairstyle? Around the Amy Winehouse period. Someone did that. And it did not suit them at all. Because they were quite short. And I said to them, it really does not suit you. It's like you're adding on 2 foot to your body size. It doesn't work. Oh, George, we say it all the time. Not just once, every day. No, of course not, George. The underwear. I just read Pink Star's comment there. And when the person said to me, right, oh, you wouldn't like it if someone said that to you, and I then say, well, I wouldn't have asked. The way I say it is that I shouldn't have to ask. If I've got paranoia, I'll ask, but if I'm not, just go for it. And it's like, I know that my hairstyle, it doesn't work completely. Like, it works this side, it doesn't work so well. Look at it. It doesn't work so well as this side, I think. But, so it's like, you gotta like, you kind of like go, you either go with it, or you don't. But hey, back to the point. Take care, Mark. Back to the point. When someone says, oh, I've done this website, or I've got this logo, my friends and family love it, if they're not going to listen to an expert's opinion, so George, you know, last week he had a lot of these issues with clients where they weren't listening. If you have a logo or an image or a colour scheme and your friends and family love it, but they're not willing to listen to an expert who knows colour, who knows what's going to work, who has an eye for detail, you know it's a bad relationship. You know this partnership isn't going to work. Do you know what, Andrew? That's true. I don't intentionally mean to offend. But sometimes I'll say stuff, or I might make a joke, or I might say the truth, or I might say my opinion, and it offends, or it irritates people. But I'm like, why should I have to bend over? Because that's what you want to hear. And if you go through life just hearing what you want to hear, then you're missing out on life. You're missing out on the real world. If you just believe that, and you don't want to believe that anything else exists or whatever, you're missing out on the world. I do have to, because it is coming up to 2 o'clock now, shoot off, okay? We've been live for 1 hour 53. I'll still live for another minute. I think that's very true as well about the tone. You can tell as well if someone is being condescending. Like sometimes people would say stuff to me and it was pretty clear they're just saying it in a very condescending manner because they're just saying it because they know it's going to rattle you and they want to see what they can do to push you almost in a way. Oh, there you go. Catherine's just summed it up. If you are constantly satisfied, you will be endlessly dissatisfied. So Melissa, copy and paste that and send that to a text to your husband. Send that to a text to your husband. See what he says when he reads that. In fact, Melissa, next time you go on a date night with your husband, send what Catherine has just said the next morning and see what he does. It's like me and my wife argue a lot. And it's often because I'm very honest and brutally honest about stuff. But sometimes she then reflects on it and goes, actually, I'm glad you told me that. And sometimes she's brutally honest to me. And I'm glad she tells me because it stops me making a mistake or doing something wrong. You know, Melissa, let me tell you what date night is. Date night is when you get KFC delivered. That is date night, right? When you're putting like a Marvel movie on or whatever. Hey, has anyone seen the Uncharted movie with Tom Holland? I'm a massive Uncharted fan. I love those games. All of them. Loved them. However, the Uncharted movie could have been better, but I did still like it. It was a little bit predictable because it was very similar to the games. Loads of scenes, they were taken literally out of the game. You knew what was going to happen. However, the Uncharted film was enjoyable and my son loved it. Yes, they do. In Leicestershire, they do KFC, yeah. That is date night. Tom Holland is a brilliant actor. One of my favourite actors right now. But yeah, the Uncharted games, loved them. And the movie takes about half an hour to get going, which I felt was a bit slow. It was very slow to start off with. But which could put people off if you're not invested into Uncharted. But I was. But my son loved it. Wife loved it. It was great. Great stuff. So Uncharted. So I've played all of them. Uncharted 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, do you know what was really cool? I remember when I was playing Uncharted 2 when it first came out. And I was playing it, and you know what? My wife literally sat there watching me play it. She just sat there and she loved the story, the dialogue, the voice acting, the scenes. She literally was like, it's like watching a movie take place here. And that's what I love about the Uncharted games. They were just so, they were brilliant, weren't they? And the movie, there's so much of the games in the movie. I don't really play that much either. Don't really get time to play much now. When I say not much, never. And I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft, Uncharted, the Lord of the Rings online game, the Final Fantasy games. I love the Final Fantasy games. Love that. Always looking forward to the next one. Right, I do have to go. I have to shoot off now. It's been great again, and I'm glad we got to talk about, the poor husband who is made to love the wife's work, right? All right, everyone, take care. See you all soon, all right? Hopefully see you tomorrow, and I'll let you know what happened with the teacher. Was it good? Was it bad? Is it going to stress me out? Could do. But let's see how it goes. Take care, everyone. See you all soon. Bye.